Weakness Policy Kyogre. That is pretty terrifying. What is up, YouTube? James Baek here, and I am back for some more Stadium Ladder today with some more VGC Series 8 using a Rayquaza team. Now, there's a lot of Pokemon here that I really want to use for a while in Series 8 because I think they are personally underrated and under the radar. I think these Pokemon have a lot of potential and haven't really seen too much of in Series 8. So I thought, you know what, I wanted to make a team around them. So I do want to use Rayquaza because of the fact that I think a lot of Sun teams have been doing well recently. And I think Rayquaza is really good against a lot of Sun teams, being able to deny the weather effects from like Groudon specifically, especially Sun, being able to outspeed Venusaur because there's no chlorophyll. Charizard ain't able to abuse the solar power, and Rayquaza will be able to do a lot of damage to him. Got Bisharp, which I think is actually still a pretty decent pick overall. I'm actually surprised I haven't seen it used a little bit more, and I think Swampert and Glastrier are actually still really strong picks in this format. Swampert having wide guard is pretty huge, and I think Glastrier is just great because it has like the stats of a restricted Pokemon without being in that restricted slot. So we will see how this team goes. But as always, if you do enjoy the videos, be sure to leave a like down below, as it really does help me out. If you want to try out the team, you have 2 weeks to grab this team using this rental code right here. It will expire afterward, but there is a Poke paste down below in the description as well. And of course, you could go check out my social medias as well, such as my Twitch channel, my Twitters, Instagram, all that will be linked down below. Highly recommend following me on those platforms. But otherwise, let us get started and play some games. All right, we got Bruno here. Triple Intimidate. Ooh, you know what likes Triple Intimidate? Bisharp, and Bisharp can kind of go in decently well. Okay, so what do I like here? I really do like Bisharp. Maybe Bisharp plus Regieleki, because my opponent's forced to always bring one Intimidate user at least. I feel like Bisharp plus Regieleki seems really solid here, and I do kind of like that option. Now the question is what to want to go here, because I'm thinking something like maybe go for like Rayquaza plus Swampert isn't bad. The reason I kind of like that is because of the fact I can go for because I think Swampert's actually pretty good against a team besides the Lapras, and I feel like having Swampert is good for Landorus, good for Incineroar, good for Zacian. I feel like I always bring Rayquaza here. I normally don't bring Rayquaza in these matches, but I think Rayquaza is actually kind of nice here because of the fact that it can help support the Bisharp with Airstream, which I actually really do enjoy here. I don't think I think I could bring Clefairy to help support the Bisharp, but I feel like it only takes one attack from, let's say, the Zacian, or there's going to be like some kind of like Landorus EQ I'm going to be worried about, so I don't think it's really that worth it here to bring it. Let's see how this is going to go. I feel like my opponent's, I don't know, because lead matchup's kind of rough. Maybe Landorus Lapras. It could be a little bit rough though, depending on what I do though, because they do have to make reads right away. We're going to see Hitmontop Zacian lead right away. Oh, wow. Kind of surprising they led something like this, but okay, I do get my Defiant boost right away. Is it like a feint strategy? It could be feint. Feint could definitely be a play in a Bisharp, I guess I have to watch out for. What exactly do I want to go for here? I kind of want to Dynamax Regieleki right off the bat, but the thing is, if Landorus is in the back, that's actually very problematic if I Dynamax right away. So the question is, do I risk the feint immediately? Because I could go into Swampert, or I could go out into a Rayquaza potentially. The question is, I don't know what the Zacian does. Maybe Sub here. I feel like Sub might be very likely here, but I can't really do anything. That's the question. Oh, I really like Bisharp in this matchup. Is it necessary though to win? I don't think it's absolutely necessary to win. If I get rid of Zacian early, that can open up doors for my Rayquaza to sweep. So I think I'm actually just going to go for a double attack here. Thunderbolt into Iron Head. If they fake out one, they unless they double up a slot, they can't pick up a knockout, and I get guaranteed good damage off. So they fake out the Bisharp, which is fine. We are able to get a really strong Thunderbolt off into the Zacian, and that's a 2-shot, which is really good. And we see a Sacred Sword. Okay, so it's a double up in the Bisharp. I could have protected. Again, I was worried about feint, as well as I was worried about... So unfortunately, I lost the Pokemon that I said was going to be really good in this matchup, but I think it's okay here because now I'm in a pretty good spot where I can bring a Rayquaza, and I pretty much can get a free Swords Dance off. I feel like Thunderbolt and the Swords Dance is really strong here. So yeah, I think that's 100% worth it. Yeah, I think Thunderbolt always here, and I think a Swords Dance that gives me quite a bit of offensive momentum. I guess close combat could be a thing, but I think it depends on the Hitmontop investment, because I guess if it's close combat, feint, although I don't know if they would fake out. I think they would have fainted if they had it, because I don't think there's a reason to fake out turn 1. We're going to see the Zacian retreat, so Landorus probably going to be coming in. Okay. Landorus is fine. Not that big of a deal. I think I want to keep him on top around because or keep Regieleki around because Regieleki is still really good against my opponent's team. We're going to see double switch actually. Okay, so getting triple intimidate. They brought triple intimidate against Bisharp. Oh man, I wish I actually kept Bisharp alive. Maybe I could have max guarded turn 1. Max guard turn 1 would have been pretty dope, although it wouldn't change the situation, I feel like. So I go for the Thunderbolt into Landorus, and I do go for the Swords Dance right here. What's nice is Swampert's really good in this matchup. They didn't bring a good answer to Swampert, I feel like, so that's at least one positive right here. I guess I could go for switching to Swampert here, because they might decide to fake it. Would they fake out Eleki? I feel like Eleki's not putting on pressure. I do want to go for the max airstream into the lander slot for sure. The question is, what do I want to do for Eleki? Because I want Swampert to get the speed boost, because getting +3 allows me to outspeed Zacian. I'm pretty sure 80, 160. Actually, might be close. I think I would be able to outspeed though, so I think I'm gonna go Swampert here, and I think I am just gonna go for the max airstream. I could go for max Dragon to lower their attack, but I don't think Rockfall can knock out Rayquaza in one shot here, so we will go into Swampert here. Hopefully it's not gonna be on a parting shot. It could be parting shot coming out, but I think if you parting shot, it would be most likely gonna be the Rayquaza slot. I could see parting shot come out, I could see fake out come out into a slot here, but yeah, I do want to Dynamax the Rayquaza, and I think speed up the Swampert if possible, because being able to speed up the Swampert is really good, I think, for dealing with their team, because Swampert does really well against their team. We are going to see the Dynamax come out from my opponent's side. Most likely going to be that Landorus, I'd imagine. I don't think you're Dynamaxing Incineroar in this position. Yeah. So unfortunately, Bisharp could have done really well here if I didn't throw it away. Maybe I could have sacked Swampert, but Swampert was also like really good against their team, I think. So like either way, I think I had a good mon against them no matter what I did. Baek are going to come out into the Rayquaza, which is actually really good for me. Nice, as I do get the airstream up once again into their Landers. Good amount of damage, like really good amount of damage. Nice, so that's pretty big. And let's see what Landers goes for. Probably I'd say Rockfall. I wouldn't say you go for Quake. Yeah, Rockfall going to come out. I don't think this picks up a knockout on Rayquaza. I could be wrong though. Yeah, it doesn't pick up a knockout. Maybe if it had Life Orb, but I didn't imagine this Landorus to be Life Orb on this team. I feel like it would probably be like, oh wow, it is actually like, wow, wait, what? I thought the Lapras would be Life Orb, because they're usually Life Orb Lapras on this team. Okay, it works out for me anyway. Rayquaza bulkier than I imagined, so that's actually pretty nice. Life Orb Landorus usually means it has Protect. I think my best play is to double up the Incineroar with Earth Power. Do I Earth Power? I feel like I Scald here. The reason I Scald here, I feel like, is I'm gonna knock out the Zacian on switching anyway. They send in him on top, I just knock it out with Airstream, because I could see them going him on top if they don't have Protect to hope that Landorus survives, or just to get the multiple Intimidates down. We are going to see the Incineroar switch out. I think this should be the him on top. Yep. Okay, perfect. So him on top is going to come out, which is fine. I'm able to get an airstream off into the him on top, which maybe it's Cobra Berry, so it survives the airstream, but still I'm going to be able to get big damage. Yep, there is the max guard. Okay. I had a feeling they had to try to get max guard and intimidate pivots with this around. Airstream going to come out into the him on top, pick up that knockout, which is really nice. So him on top, it does go down fantastic here, as a Swampert and Rayquaza will have that big speed boost, which I think is really good. And I think Swampert would have been able to outspeed the Landorus, and maybe might have been able to pick up the knockout with Scald. I think it would have been able to knock out with Scald at that range. And yeah, this is a phenomenal spot, because now I can Dragon's Ascent and Scald into the Landorus slot, and there's really no reason not to. Incineroar going to come out. I don't think I'm in fake out range yet. And what's nice about Rayquaza is against these weather teams, which obviously it negates the weather effect, I don't take the Sandstorm chip, which is actually a really big deal, because I'll be able to live a fake out hit for sure, I feel like, from this range. Maybe a Life Orb hit too, which would be really nice. So go for the Scald here. Just go for another max airstream into Landorus. Get that Swampert +3 and outspeed Zacian, I'm pretty sure. Most Zacians haven't been running max speed either, so we might just be able to outspeed the Zacian, and that would be fantastic. We are able to eliminate the if we are able to outspeed Zacian and pick up the threatening knockout with Earth Power. But we do have Regieleki in the back as well. We did save Eleki as for the backup. But yeah, we're in a pretty good spot right here. Fake out going to come out in Swampert, which is fine. because of the fact I am going to be able to get the airstream off into the Landis, which will pick up a knockout. Perfect. Landis goes down, and even with these multiple intimidates, Rayquaza just like able to put in a lot of work with Swampert, which is actually pretty cool. Like, I'm actually surprised Swampert's been doing pretty well actually for me right here. It's been a good mon for some of these Pokemon. All right, so Swampert, yeah, I mean Swampert's just gonna put in, I think Swampert's just gonna clean up now. We also have our Regieleki in the back. We do see the Zacian come out, which is completely fine here. I'm gonna go for, I want to go for, do I want to go for, I want to go for Earthquake. I feel like it's just safe to go for Dragon's Ascent realistically. Yeah, I feel like Earth Power is probably fine into Zacian, and go for, I could Sword Stance. That's not really necessary at all. I feel like just getting damage in Incineroar is just fine. Even if I'm like -1 or -2, I think the damage might just put into Magnet or Thunderbolt or Earth Power, depending on what kind of Incineroar this is. If it's Assault Vest, I guess it could survive. But overall, I don't see them having a good spot right here. Zacian going to protect. Okay, maybe a Parting Shot could come out into the Swampert slot, but I feel like you would have to try to get rid of the Rayquaza as well. Look at this beautiful animation. Dragon Ascent into the Incineroar still is a pretty good chunk. I think that's still -1, which is still impressive. Rayquaza is going to go down, which means a free switch to Electroweb. And yeah, what are you going to do? Parting Shot? I think Parting Shot might give you better odds. Snarly, okay, same thing. Okay, so what could screw me over here is, I guess, the question. I mean, I think I go Electroweb 100%. I think I go for Earth Power into Incineroar, and I think I go for Thunderbolt into the Zacian. Is there a thing that stops it? Double Protect from Zacian, Flare Blitz. Yeah, I guess. But I think it's still better just to go for the Earth Power here. And just, I mean, I feel like Zacian should always go for the Double Protect anyway, so there might be a better shot of just going for the Thunderbolt into Incineroar. But actually no, it's probably better to double up the Incineroar. I think Zacian would have to get really lucky with crits here, and I feel like it's more likely they attempt to go for another Protect. Yep, like that. Perfect, because if it's Assault Vest Incineroar, I think this is safer. And I am able to knock out Incineroar Thunderbolt anyway. So even if Zacian attacked here, it would need like to stop this Earth Power from going off a crit in the Swampert. Actually, I don't pick up a knockout on Zacian. I guess because I am Calm Nature and not Modest on this one. But yeah, I mean, either way, did read the Double Protect. They did go for it, and it ended up working out because I'm able to eliminate. I mean, even then, like, what was Zacian's worst case? I think crit in the Swampert. Maybe close combat, but then Regieleki just outspeeds. And yeah, if they close combat Electroweb, Earth Power, just like KO Zacian. And I don't think Play Rough KO Swampert is range, I'm pretty sure. But I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong. Zacian is just super strong, but I thought it was more likely that they go for the double, and most of these teams don't have Play Rough on their Zacian. So we are able to take this game, which is really nice here. I think losing Bisharp was a little bit annoying. Obviously, Bisharp could have been fantastic here, especially with +1 or +2 speed, because of the fact that Bisharp would have been fantastic here. But I still think it was like the right call of like sacking the Bisharp immediately or risking it, because again, Feint I think was one thing I was really concerned about for sure. I think Feint would have been terrible in that spot, and there's definitely a chance that my opponent went for like substitute with Zacian on turn 1. So there were like a lot of things that could have happened there, especially like sub on Zacian with Lapras is a pretty standard one, as well as Sword Stance, but I don't think Sword Stance would be in that position. So yeah, oh yeah, we also saw they didn't have close combat. We saw they had Sacred Sword because they Sacred Sworded the Bisharp immediately. So yeah, they didn't even have close combat. So they would have needed either a Play Rough and hope that actually KO'd my Swampert at that range, and they would have had to connect to both Play Roughs. So, but that game, I'm just really surprised. Turn 1 it ended up working out. What they brought actually worked out for me a lot, because even though they were slowing down my Rayquaza, they didn't exactly have the best ways to threaten it. But yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't bring Lapras. Maybe they thought they couldn't set up Resonance effectively because of the fact that I had like a lot of pressure against Lapras, specifically because of Regieleki. Regieleki would have done a ton of damage to Lapras with the Max Lightning if I Dynamaxed it. So maybe they were really scared of me Dynamaxing the Regieleki, being able to like do a lot of damage to the Lapras. Even if they get Veil up, Bisharp's still really scary, I guess, as well as Rayquaza is if the Lapras gets low really early on, and it's really hard to set up, I think, late game Veil against my team because he had 3 Intimidate users, so you were guaranteed to bring at least 1 into the game. So yeah, it could have been definitely tough, I think, for my opponent. So Yeah, luckily we were just able to, I guess, get Swampert into sweeping position. I really was hoping Bisharp could actually sweep this team potentially, but Swampert still did a pretty good job at the end of the day, putting on that offensive pressure. And yeah, Rayquaza actually did do quite a bit of damage, so I'm pretty pleased about that. All right, we got Hassan here. Interesting team. We have Dual Weather, Torkoal, Venusaur, Kyogre, which actually has been doing pretty well recently. Dual Weather with Weather Ball Venusaur has been a pretty interesting tech. Being able to win tournaments and things. We have an interesting take on it though. We have Comfey, which I don't know. Is it Weakness Policy Kyogre on the team? Because that's the only reason I see Comfey on a team. Weakness Policy Kyogre is actually really terrifying. And I mean really terrifying for my team. Although I do have Rayquaza, I guess. Rayquaza is actually pretty good against this Weather Ball combination. But I think the thing I have to worry about is the Indy plus the Hatterene, which is actually terrifying, I think. So yeah, that combination is always scary to play against. So I think what I want to go is Glastrier. Glastrier is pretty good against their team. I'll bring Glastrier Swampert, I think. I don't think I bring Regieleki. Regieleki is kind of nice, but I think Clefairy and Rayquaza is definitely the way to go on this for sure. I think that because I feel like it's going to be most likely going to be a combination of Indy Hatterene lead. I don't see you leading Torkoal Venusaur against Rayquaza at all. I'm not sure if you would lead Kyogre against the team. You could. I could bait the Water Spout and go for a Wide Guard. Of course, there is the option. Because the thing is, they don't have like an immediate way to like outspeed my Rayquaza with Kyogre if they lead. So I'd be very surprised if they led the Kyogre. I guess maybe they could lead like Comfey and have like ally switch mind games. I guess that could definitely be a thing here. But let's see what my opponent's going to bring here, because I'm not sure what to expect. We are going to see Indy Hatterene though. Okay, so it is kind of what I expected right here, because I felt like that made the most sense to me. Ideally, my Glastrier Swampert right off the bat. I think I just go for... I feel like they always follow me here, right? I feel like always follow me makes sense. So I kind of want to go for Earth Power and Swords Dance right here. Would they go on the offense right away? I would say no. I would say no. I think they would want Trick Room up. I feel like their team's kind of dependent on Trick Room, but I could be wrong, I guess. I'm going to Swords Dance up though, and I think I'm going to go for the Earth Power into the Hatterene slot immediately. Yeah, I do like the Earth Power and the Hatterene, because if it is the Focus Sash Hatterene, it would be annoying. Oh, but we do see the Dynamax come up in the Hatterene. Oh, is this Max Minus or Max Smite? Max Smite's probably fine because it's not boosted and I have Lum Berry. So I guess it wouldn't be the worst. But that's still a pretty bad max turn 1. Because I was not expecting a max turn 1. I was really hoping for something else. But let's see here. Gonna be the Follow Me come out. Okay. Let's see what they go for. I'm hoping they target a Swampert, but I don't know if they're targeting a Swampert. I doubt it. We will go for the Earth Power into the Indy here, as we're going to see the Swords Dance come up from Glastrier. At least they don't get Trick Room up, which is actually kind of nice, but the thing is stalling out this max is going to be a little bit difficult. We see Flare right away. Does this KO? With Life Orb, probably? Ooh, no KO, which is actually pretty big. Okay. Expanding Force should be the Indy's only move here. I wonder if they would get greedy. I could definitely see them getting greedy here. I feel like the play is always the Icicle Spear 100%. I feel like Icicle Spear the Indy. I think you would definitely Expanding Force here, but I guess you could Protect in theory. I feel like maybe Indy. No, Icicle Spear into Hat might be fine, because if they knock out Swampert with Max Mindstorm, what I could do is go out into Rayquaza. The thing is, if they double the Glastrier slot though, no, I think it'd be better to KO the Indy in that case. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Wide Guard here. I'm gonna go for the Icicle Spear and hope to knock out the Indy. Hopefully it's not Mystical Fire on Indy as well. That would be very tough. But let's see. Wide Guard. We do see the Expanding Force. No surprise here. I wonder if they go for the Swampert slot. If they go for GMAX Mindstorm, knock out the Swampert, I think that's an okay spot. I just bring out my Rayquaza the following turn and have like a lot of offensive pressure. We are going to be able to knock out the Indy crit, which is nice, but I think it only matter if I hit less than 3, which means if I hit 2 exactly, which would have been unlucky, but we'll see. We do get the boost right here, as we are going to see the Max Smite. Okay. Into Swampert, perfect. I have a Lum Berry, but the thing is, I guess they get a free switch into something faster, like the Kyogre, so that could be tough. That could be tough. I do have a Lum Berry, but the thing is, I don't have a Lum Berry on Swampert, which means if Kyogre comes in, I am risking the hitting myself in confusion into like water spout or something. That'd be pretty bad, but I guess it's not terrible. Yeah, it's definitely not a terrible situation. Comfey gonna come out actually. Okay, I don't think Draining Kiss knocks out Glastrier at this range. I'd be very surprised if it did. My safest play is probably just to go for the Icicle Spear into the Comfey slot, and I think go out into my Clefairy is the safest play that I can go for. The reason I think this is the safest play I can go for is because of the fact that this A should, with Rengar, should always allow me to survive Draining Kiss if it's like actually does KO the Glastrier at this range. And B, oh, they ally switch. I don't want them sending up Trick Room. Like, I really don't want them sending up Trick Room. We do see the ally switch here, which is fine. Icicle Spear into the Hatterene. How much damage is it going to do? Unfortunately, I think this is Smite again, which is going to be like really a big headache. Unless I hit 5 times. Can I hit 5 times with the Glastrier? There's number 4. So close. I mean, that's okay. Max Flare going to come out. Over Smite? Okay. If you have a reason to Smite there, it's then. Max Mind Sword could have just KO'd. I mean, all right, I'll take it. Not terrible. I think I go Rayquaza here. Do I go Rayquaza or do I go Swampert? I feel like the play is always to go Rayquaza here. The reason I think it's always the play to go Rayquaza here is because I think I Quake and I go for Gleam. And I think Gleam knocks out the Hatterene at the range that it's at right now. So, yeah, I could... And I mean Max Quake, not Earthquake. I could go for regular Earthquake here. That's not a terrible play. But that depends on if Comfey gets Trick Room up, I guess. But it wouldn't be that bad of a play, right? Yeah, I guess I could regular Earthquake and Protect. But I feel like Max Quaking setting up for the Kyogre is just better. Yeah, I do actually like that. I think I'm going to Max Quake here and just go for Dazzling Gleam. I'm pretty sure Dazzling Gleam should knock out Hatterene at that range. If not, that's actually like... not my best strat, but it could work. There's also a chance they do ally switch here, so we will find out. But I think also boosting Clef special defense is pretty good to help against the Kyogre in the back. So I think at the end of the day, they can't pick up a knock on the Rayquaza anyway. They can't smite me anymore because their Dynamax is over. I don't think this is a terrible spot to be in. So let's see. Gonna be the ally switch does come out. Yep. Okay. Perfect. They do ally switch. Perfect. As we do go for the Quake here into the Hatterene, which will pick up a knockout. Dazzling Gleam will be able to break a potential Focus Sash on the Comfey. If it is Focus Sash, next turn I can go for the Max Airstream into the Comfey slot and follow me because it's very safe. It covers the Giga Drain. Or it doesn't cover the Giga Drain, but it covers the Giga Drain and the Self Kyogre into +2 Hailstorm, which I think is correct. Gleam. Not much damage, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure that Max Airstream will just KO the Comfey because Max Airstream is just really strong. I could also just go for the I guess I could also just go for the Max. I guess I could go for Helping Hand here too, but I'm pretty sure that Max Airstream knocks out Kyogre. Well, I guess if it's a bulky Kyogre, it would live, which I guess is concerning. No, I should still follow me anyway, right? Yeah, because worst case is the Ice Beam combination into the Giga Drain. So yeah, we'll follow me here and go for the Airstream. There's no weather on the field too, which is really nice. So Clefairy might be able to live a Water Spout at full health. Yep, they go for the Giga Drain into the Kyogre. So they do chip their own Kyogre. Perfect. And it doesn't heal to Sash, which means I should be able to KO the Comfey. Weakness Policy Kyogre. That is pretty terrifying. Because yeah, if you had full health Water Spout at +2 in the rain, oh boy, that would be terrifying. But luckily, we are able to eliminate the Comfey here. I'd imagine we eliminate Comfey here. Yep, we eliminate Comfey here, and that should be game because I don't think Kyogre can win against the. I don't think it can survive the Helping Hand Max Airstream afterward, unless they are able to pick up a knockout here. But I'd be surprised if they were able to. Let's see. Gonna be, yep, it is an Ice Beam. Yep. As anticipated. So yeah, Giga Drain Ice Beam, that was a play that I fought. Ally Switch was also another play that I fought, but I thought it was less likely. But yeah, now this is a guaranteed Helping Hand Max Airstream. We should definitely be able to beat Kyogre. We know it's not Quick Claw because we saw the weakness policy. And yeah, even if they protect, I get even more damage, and then Helping Hand grinds essentially be able to knock out to the Kyogre. So either way, I think this just like 100% seals the game as no protect. So yeah, this Kyogre just gonna faint right here to the Max Airstream. And we are able to pick up that game. Really nice. So, Wideguard Swampert was actually clutch. Wideguard saved my Glastrier that one turn. I wasn't expecting that turn 1 Dynamax for sure.
That could have been really scary. I think if they picked up a KO on Swampert, it definitely could have been more terrifying. But I guess like if they pick up the knockout on Swampert, I get going to Clef, and it still gets a little bit tricky. I'm actually like, I think Ogre was actually more scary. Like if they brought an Ogre on that position of Glastrier, but I don't know what kind of Kyogre they are. I guess it depends on the moveset, right? If they have Thunder, they could go for Thunder, I think. Although maybe I could switch an Array, and maybe that's what they were worried about. Ice Beam I don't think would knock out Glastrier at that range. I would say probably not. Water Spout and Origin Pulse maybe were their water moves, so they might have been like scared of Wide Guard. If I worry about the Wide Guard, and then they take a ton of damage, potentially lose Kyogre to high horsepower, or like lose the Hatterene. So maybe that's why they brought out the Comfey to ally switch mind game. But it ended up working for us, so that is pretty good to see. I think even though Glastrier took more damage than anticipated turn 1, and the max definitely was a bit shocking, I think like one, the Icicle Spears hit were pretty lucky. The 4 into that one, and getting the crit meant I didn't have to crit, man. I just avoided the 2-hitter one, so I think that was fine. And yeah, that's basically how the game went. I think we just set up for end game Rayquaza sweep at that point, because they didn't get Trick 'em Up, and we were doing a ton of damage to their team with Glastrier in the beginning.
And yeah, that's going to be the video for today. I hope everyone enjoyed. Rayquaza was able to do a ton of work in today's video, which I'm really happy to see. If you did enjoy it, again, be sure to leave a like down below. And of course, if you do want to try out the team, 2 weeks to grab the rental code. Make sure you use it. Otherwise, there is that pay spin down below in the description for all of you to try out. And make sure while you're down there to check out my social medias. Follow me on my other platforms. There's my Twitch channel where I do live stream, my Twitters, my Instagram, all that good stuff. Link down below in the description. But thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day, people. And until we bow again, I'll catch you all later.